How's it going, YouTube, and welcome back to some more PokeRogue. We are continuing on our run that we have been on in the past few videos, and our Zapdos has been putting in a lot of work for us. Obviously, we've still got the Annihilate, we've still got the Pawmot as well, and a few other Pokemon to go alongside that as well. However, the Zapdos has been pretty much mainstay to get as far as we have so far in this particular run. Obviously right now we are at the grassy fields and we are trying to make a bit more progress than we have in previous runs. I think I mentioned in the previous video we're going to try and get up to floor 100 in today's video, regardless of how things end up going. I am going to probably take the Bug Buzz over Struggle Bug here. I know I've already got that, I think, on one of my other Pokemon, and we are looking to potentially swap out our Pokemon during the course of this run anyway. But regardless, right now we are doing alright for ourselves with the Pokemon that we do have. We do also have a little bit of a break in terms of the Pokemon we're coming up against, I suppose, when it comes to actually being able to get as far as we have. We have, excuse me, got Team Rocket as like our bad guys, so to speak, during the course of this run. So that has been a little bit helpful because we haven't had to worry about like Team Aqua or anyone along those lines like Team Magma, where they have a certain set amount of Pokemon, not set amount of Pokemon, but like set typings. But at the same time, we have run into quite a few normal types with Team Rocket, which has been quite handy as well. We do have Outrage. Do I want Outrage over like Shadow Punch? Probably not. Obviously, Shadow Punch never misses. We do have 100 accuracy on Outrage. I just don't really want to make Annihilate confused when we end up using that particular move, but it is a Dragon type move, which will actually help us if we come up against Dragon type Pokemon. Because obviously Dragon is weak against Dragon, but also we do have Fairy and Ice moves for Dragon Pokemon too. So I don't know if I definitely want this or not. I don't really want our Annihilate to become confused, as I said. So I think we are just going to not teach the Outrage to Annihilate. If we need it in the future, we do obviously have Memory Mushroom for that particular side of things. So we shouldn't be too what am I trying to think of? Too like concerned about not taking that move. Plus, we do have the Dragon weakness kind of covered in terms of Fairy type moves on our Wormadam and also Ice Punch on Pawmot. So we do have enough coverage on Dragon types anyway. Double Shock. Do we want to take Double Shock? After using a move, the user will no longer be electric type. I don't think we want to take that. Obviously, Discharge is quite good anyway, and we don't really want to take away the electric typing from Pawmot if we can help it, because again, electric will be quite nice against flying and water type Pokemon. So we will just keep that as it is, and we do end up getting through the trainer. So speaking of Memory Mushroom, we do have the option to take one here. But right now, I'm probably going to take the Nugget from those options. We do have a Shrifty here, which is obviously grass and dark. Do I want to keep just getting through Pokemon, or do I want to take some Pokemon potentially for our party? What do we have? We have Kricketune, Wormadam, Roamby, Pawmot, and Annihilate. Now we do have, two Bug-type Pokemon, but the Roamby is also a Fairy type. I think we also have some nice moves on Kricketune, but I think Kricketune might be the sacrificial lamb if we go ahead and catch anything else. So we will kind of take into consideration a few different Pokemon as we progress through the floors here, just in case there is anything we want to go ahead and grab. Excuse me. Right now I'm okay with what we've got. I'm going to probably take the X accuracy here because I don't actually know where the next Ivy fight is. So I kind of want to make sure that we have some items that are going to allow us to get through that fight a little bit easier. So I think we're going to take the likes of X attacks, etc. Even if we don't see Ivy on this particular like level, we can always, or this biome, we can always have them ready for the boss at the end of this particular kind of biome as well. So I'm going to take Wide Lens, going to take that on the Zapdos. Right now, I've not really seen anything that I'm too like, oh, I really want this Pokemon. So we're just going to continue to kind of like let Zapdos do the work for us. Final Gambit. I don't actually know what this move does because my brain's just decided it's going to forget half the moves and what they do. Risk everything to attack its target. The user faints, but does... Okay, we don't really want that. Obviously, Final Gambit is quite nice in terms of dealing damage, etc. But I don't really want the Annihilate to knock itself out if I can help it. Ooh, Thunder's quite nice to see. 110 power, 70 actually, 10 PP. But I think we're going to take the XP charm here. And we do have another trainer in School Kid Georgie to get through here. So first and foremost, we'll be able to get through that Dustox fairly easily. Obviously, with our Zapdos having flying type moves. And all of our Pokemon are gaining a decent amount of XP now. And again, low kicks we should be able to get through fairly easily as well with Zapdos once again. And with Zapdos being at level 64, everything else is going into our other Pokemon. Annihilate, I think, is still quite far behind in terms of levels. So I think if we do find rare candies, we're going to go ahead and pop those onto our Annihilate moving forward. We'll take the special attack, X-Special attack, just for the time being. Get rid of Whimsicott, even though we could have probably taken that for another Fairy type or to change out our Fairy type. Right now, I'm not too fussed about that side of things. Here, I think we take the... I'm going to take the potion, and the reason I'm going to take the potion is we can apply that to Zapdos to make sure it is relatively healthy going into the boss for this particular floor. And we will get through the jump bluff fairly swiftly there as well. What is it trying to learn? Quiver Dance. What do we have on this particular Pokemon? We have Pollen Puff, Bug Buzz, Covert, and Dazzling Gleam. I think we'll get rid of Covert, even though it would be quite nice to start stealing items of other Pokemon. With that particular move, I just feel like it's the best one to get rid of for the move that we had available. And we'll take another Citrus Berry to put onto our Zapdos Lilligant. It is a grass type Pokemon, but I think... Do we want this? If we want it, what we definitely going to get rid of? Because Kricketune does have some nice attacks. I think it would be like maybe Roamby. But then Roamby does have the Fairy type moves. Wormadam obviously has a lot of Psychic type moves on it. So it is a little bit difficult right now to like call which Pokemon we would get rid of. Obviously, Pawmot and Annihilate plus Zapdos are like our main three that we're going to keep. So it is quite difficult, you know. The bug type Pokemon in Kricketune might be like the main thing that we get rid of, because even though it's good against like Grass, Dark, and Psychic, we still have Roamby that does have bug type moves anyway. So there are a few different options for us, and I think I might take this Lilligant as long as we don't knock it out with Ancient Power. We'll go ahead and throw a Great Ball in. Lovely stuff. So we have the Lilligant as a potential starter now, or at least the base form of it, but those IVs aren't really good enough for me to be like, you know what, we'll go ahead and take it. So we aren't going to add it to our party. As I said, it's one of those things right now that it's fairly difficult to decide what we want to go ahead and actually swap out. And I think the only time we swap it out is if we find something that we really, really want to go ahead and have just due to its IVs. See if Ancient Power... So Ancient Power is not going to do too much, so we could probably take this Torterra, hopefully, as long as we can catch it. Obviously, the Citrus Berry comes into effect for us there. Okay, so do find the get the Torterra, and I think we definitely take it with those IVs. So we are going to take the Torterra, and I'm going to get rid of Kricketune. because Roamby, as I said, does have bug-type moves anyway, so if we do need to swap into a bug-type Pokemon, we always have the Roamby to do that side of things with. So Kricketune is going to be the one that gets released, and we are going to take the Torterra there as a Grass-type Pokemon. Again, with regards to Grass, it's good against Ground, Rock, and Water, so again, we have more options against those, or against those particular types of Pokemon. But right now, we are in the tall grass, so I think a lot of this is bug-type Pokemon. So I think if we use stuff like Drill Peck and Thunderous Kick, not Thunderous Kick, sorry, Drill Peck for sure, we should be able to get through the bug-type Pokemon fairly easily. And I would guess that we see Ivy again on this floor. Definitely taking the Candy Jar there. Lurantis is a really nice Pokemon, actually. We do have Torterra, obviously, at the moment as our main Pokemon that is a grass typing. So I don't think we necessarily need to go ahead and take that. So Zapdos wants to learn Close Combat. I don't know if we want to take it, but we'll have a quick look. We have Brick Break and we have Thunderous Kick. Obviously, Close Combat is still good, though. But it lowers defense and special defense stats. 5 out of 5 on PP. I don't know, like, the only thing really would be like Brick Break, because Thunderous Kick is still a decent move. Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead and get rid of Brick Break for Close Combat on Zapdos. Why not? Why not take a little bit of a roll of the dice on a different move, even though I think we've already got it on Annihilate, maybe also Pawmot. With most of our Pokemon right now, we'll take this Egg Voucher, I think. Yeah, take the Egg Voucher, but most of our Pokemon right now are like fighting slash something. So we could technically get rid of another Pokemon that way. We do have a Nidoqueen here, which is obviously ground and poison. I don't think we've got any poison type Pokemon. And that obviously covers Fairy off as well as Steel. Obviously with ground as well. Okay, if we don't knock out the Nidoqueen with like Thunderous Kick, Ancient Power. Okay, we're not going to knock it out. We might take this Nidoqueen. Zapdos is now confused, unfortunately. Came out of its confusion pretty much instantly. And I think we are going to go ahead and try to get the Nidoqueen here. Okay, so we've got through that. So, Nidoqueen's Ivies aren't too bad either. Superpower, Toxic, Tail Whip, Flatter. So we can get rid of Tail Whip, etc. I'm just trying to think, do we get rid of Pawmot here? Do we have coverage though against flying and water is the question. I don't actually know is the answer to that. Just having a quick look through. Obviously we have got some moves, well the ice type move we have on Pawmot. We have a rock type move though, I believe on our Zapdos. So I think the thing is though, Pawmot is a shiny. Wormadam has Psychic, which is good against fighting and poison, but we have flying. So I think we take it over Wormadam here, if I'm perfectly honest. Just so we have something that does have poison for obviously the fairy coverage. Because right now, outside of that, we don't really have a decent fairy coverage on our Pokemon. Because we don't have any steel types, and we don't have any steel type moves, so the Nidoqueen should come in quite handy against those types of Pokemon if we need to get rid of, or swap out of Zapdos, should I say. But now I believe Nidoqueen might be the one Pokemon that's fairly low compared to the rest in terms of levels. So I think we are, I'm just making sure. So we do have Great Balls as an option here, but I think we take the Rare Candy on Nidoqueen just to try and get Nidoqueen that extra level towards being able to be quite effective for us. Ironically enough, we do find another Nidoqueen as the next Pokemon here. We are confused, but Zapdos seems to be really good at snapping out confusion for us, which is always good to see. And our levels on our Pokemon are climbing quite quickly now, which is always lovely. Especially on floor 84. So I'm almost, not certain, but I'm almost very, very close to being like, we're bound to see an Ivy at some point soon. Nugget I'm not too fussed about taking, so we do have quite a bit of money right now. So we will take the rare candy. Oh, Nidoking and Ninetales. We don't have a fire-type Pokemon, I don't think. Ooh, okay. This is going to be an interesting decision. We will Drill Peck onto... Ooh, will we Drill Peck? We'll Thunderous Kick onto Nidoking. And we'll go ahead and do a close combat on Ninetales. So it does knock out the Ninetales, which is fine. Not the most ideal situation, because it would have been nice to take Ninetales, I think, to have the Fire-type Pokemon, at least to get through Steel and Ice. Even though saying that Ice is weak to fighting, so we kind of have that covered off anyway. But the Nidoking is something that I'm tempted to potentially take over the Nidoqueen if we end up being able to catch it, which we can. Okay, never mind. Completely disregard that. The IVs on this particular Nidoking aren't amazing, so we aren't going to be doing that. At least we took the kind of roll of the dice to see what the IVs were like, but they weren't really good enough for us to consider taking the Nidoking there. So in our egg here we have a Cloth. Its IVs aren't too bad apart from max HP, but it does have Mighty Cleave as its egg move. So right here, I think we're 5 floors away from obviously the boss and getting a heal anyway, but I don't know if I really want Zapdos to have a poison on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that poison, and I'm going to also Super Potion. The Zapdos has quite high HP anyway, but I'm going to Super Potion it to be on the safe side. So we do have another Nidoqueen here. We'll go ahead and Drill Peck. I'm kind of tempted to try and catch this Nidoqueen as well. I will try one more Great Ball just to see if we can get some better IVs. Okay, this Nidoqueen does want to stay in the Great Ball. I don't want to take too much damage with our Zapdos here, so I am just going to get rid of this Nidoqueen just to mitigate the damage that Zapdos is receiving. Wants to learn Reversal. So it becomes more powerful the less HP the user has, but I think Thunderous Kick and Close Combat will be okay. Reversal obviously really is only a decent move once you get down to very low health points, but at the same time, would it be worth taking it over Thunderous Kick? Probably not, because Thunderous Kick we can use whenever, whereas Reversal we'd want to try and keep that in our back pocket until Zapdos was quite low on health. So I think it's better not to go ahead and take that. So Torterra wants to learn Headlong Rush. It does have Synthesis, which obviously restores its own HP, depending on the weather. Giga Drain and Leech Seed. User smashes into target, also lowers the user's defense and special defense. That's fine. I think we take away Leech Seed because we've already got Giga Drain, and then we've got 2 ground, 2 grass. So I think we go ahead and do that. Take Headlong Rush instead. Right here, what do we want to take here? I mean, we could take an Enigma Berry just in case we get hit by a super effective move, but I'm gonna spend a little bit of our money once again healing our Zapdos up a bit, and then we will take the Enigma Berry for Zapdos as well. Lurantis is the next Pokemon out. We're just going to go ahead and Drill Peck just so we can get through the Lurantis fairly swiftly. And most of our Pokemon now, bar a couple, I say bar a couple, bar like the Pokemon we haven't really been using or have just caught, are over the level 70 mark. So I think here we'll take the X Special Attack, and we have another Nidoking. So I'm just going to go ahead and Drill Peck. We will now see if this Nidoking has fairly good IVs, as long as it actually stays in the Great Ball for us. There we go, it finally does. Oh, those IVs aren't too bad. I can't remember what the IVs are on our Nidoqueen, but at least the Nidoqueen does have a poison type move, whereas the Nidoking doesn't. I think we stick with Nidoqueen. It was nice catching that Nidoking to at least add some IVs to the Pokemon, or to the Nidoran that we already have ready for a starter. But I feel like the Nidoqueen at the moment is probably going to be the better Pokemon for us. We do have the ability to take Thunder Punch here. Can be learned by Nidoqueen, Pawmot, Annihilate. Okay. I think we'll put it on Nidoqueen, and the reason we're going to put it on Nidoqueen is the Nidoqueen still has a Tail Whip, which we will never really use, especially on a Nidoqueen, so we'll take a Thunder Punch there. Not going to swap out the Pokemon, we'll go ahead and use a Drill Peck on the Nidoking here, and hopefully, I was going to say, hopefully our Zapdos can just get through the confusion without too much issue. So we are about to be on floor 90, and this is definitely the highest we have been so far on this particular game. So we are doing alright for ourselves. We do have the Citrus Berry proc there, but I am going to go ahead and grab a full heal again, because I don't want that poison being on our Zapdos. And then I think we take the berry potentially, or do we take the elixir? I think I'm going to take the elixir actually on Zapdos. Alrighty, so we do have a gym leader here in Gardena, I think is, yeah, Gardena, or however you want to pronounce her name. We are going to go ahead and Drill Peck on the Credilli, and we'll Drill Peck once again to get rid of that particular Pokemon. We don't actually have anything that heals up our Zapdos, but we do have the Friendship, which is lovely to see. Friendship, I was about to say notification, achievement is the word I'm looking for. Next up, we have a Roserade. We will Drill Peck that because it is super effective. Lovely jubbly. And I think once we get through this gym leader, if we get through this gym leader, we will also have the ability to pull some more eggs because we haven't faced this gym leader yet. But Zapdos right now is doing all the work for us, much like it has done for most of this run. Solely because this gym leader's Pokemon are all grass types, and obviously flying is super effective against grass. So it is lovely to see us getting a couple of back-to-back gym leaders that are easier for our Zapdos to get through, and it doesn't really matter too much that our Zapdos has gone down there because we can just go ahead and go, you know what, we'll send out Annihilate, and Annihilate will just use a Fire Punch into probably another Fire Punch if I'm perfectly honest, just to get through the Torterra, and we do end up winning this gym fight fairly swiftly and easily. So we do get some egg vouchers there as I initially thought, and everything does get healed up for us as well. So hopefully during the next few floors we will see an increase in, not an increase, we will hopefully see our our epic egg hatch that we got in the previous video. We could get a Vespiquen here, but I'm just going to go ahead and get through the Vespiquen. I'm not really too fussed about catching that particular Pokemon. I'm quite happy with our Pokemon at this present moment in time. So we could either take Rare Candy or Big Nugget here. Rare Candy, what do we put that on? Probably like the Torterra maybe to get that up to level 74, but everything is quite close in levels right now anyway. So I think we're just going to take the Big Nugget here. We are going to keep Annihilate out for the time being, because with Fire Punch we will be able to get through some of these bug type Pokemon fairly easily. And once we do get to floor 100, that is practically going to be this video done and dusted. Even if it's a little bit longer than the 30-minute mark, we'll definitely be doing that side of things. We're going to take the Great Balls here, just in case we do find a Pokemon that we want to go ahead and catch. And I am going to switch back into Zapdos here, just to get through the next few Pokemon fairly swiftly. And if we do run into Ivy, which I have a very strong suspicion between 90 and 100 we will, I am just going to go ahead and ensure that we have, like, our top tier Pokemon at the forefront of everything. I'm going to take Dire Hit here. Another Wormadam comes out, which I think we did, yeah, we did end up having at one point, but we swapped that out for, it was either for the Torterra or for the Nidoqueen. I can't remember which one it was. There's me saying this, and I'll probably go into my Pokemon and actually have that particular Pokemon still, but I don't think I do. Do I want the Seed Bomb? I think I do, and I think I'm going to put it on Torterra. Torterra can have Seed Bomb, and I think I'm going to potentially take it over Synthesis here, because we had Giga Drain to heal Torterra anyway. So we'll keep Seed Bomb, and as expected, we do have Ivy as a opponent at floor 95. So hopefully we can get ourselves through this. So we do have Torterra as a Fire-type Pokemon. We are going to go ahead and fire off our Ancient Power into Drill Peck here. We do get through Gimmighoul quite easily that way, which is lovely to see. Obviously, the Rock-type move would have been super effective against the first Pokemon that Ivy had out, which I've already forgotten the name of, which is really bad. But obviously, it was a Fire-type Pokemon. So right here, Electivire is going to be super effective against Zapdos. We don't have any ground-type moves, so I think, I think we kind of hope that we get through the first move. I think we go down here, unfortunately, which is unideal, but Annihilate will be the next Pokemon out for us, and I will go for a Seismic Toss into a Fire Punch, I think, followed by a Shadow Punch. Never mind. Shouldn't have gone into a Shadow Punch. That was my bad. Never mind. So Annihilate also goes down. So this is going to be a little bit of a stickier fight to get through. Oh, look at that. Get through the M-Ball, which was the first Pokemon Ivy sent out, with a close combat on the switch-in from Ivy, so that's lovely to see. I think we will definitely be using a Max Revive as our next item that we buy. Obviously, Hydro Pump comes out, but we don't need to worry about that. We will go ahead with another Discharge to get rid of the... I can never pronounce that Pokemon's name properly. Aloma. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. Not gonna try. But we are doing okay at the moment. We do have another seeing of Electivire, but we get through that Pokemon with relative ease. And Pawmot is now our highest level Pokemon at 84. And Pawmot has been like a staple in pretty much most of our teams, but unfortunately Pawmot does also go down against the Swallow here. So I think Torterra is going to be the next Pokemon that we take out, and we are going to Giga Drain just to get through the Swallow, and that is Ivy at floor 95. Done and dusted. I had a feeling she would be coming out at this particular location, at this particular biome, but thankfully we do get through her fairly swiftly and fairly easily. We do take a couple of casualties from that particular fight, but thankfully with the amount of money that we do have available to us, we can max revive a couple of our Pokemon here. I'm going to leave our Pawmot kind of dead, not dead, but like in the state of being fainted, just because I don't want to be like burning through all of our money that we've done so well to keep hold of, to obviously just revive a bunch of different Pokemon. But regardless, I will make sure that Zapdos is one of those Pokemon that we have available to us. So we do have availability for Fire Blast, which ironically Nidoqueen can actually learn. So I am going to go ahead and teach Nidoqueen Fire Blast here. I'm going to take it over the Flatter. So Fire Blast has come out. So we have a Scolipede and Beedrill here. So two Bug-type Pokemon. So we could use, obviously, Flying and Fire. So I think we will swap into the Nidoqueen in that case. We are going to Drill Peck into the Scolipede, and we will Fire Blast into the Beedrill, just to get rid of at least one of these Pokemon. Beedrill is like one of my favourite Pokemon from Gen 1. My most favourite Pokemon from Gen 1 is Gengar, Saucy Gassy, Haunter Gengar, but I do have a little bit of a soft spot for the Beedrill as well. But just to try and get to our goal of floor 100 for this particular video, we are going to go ahead and just get rid of both of those Pokemon fairly swiftly. Next up, I think we take the rare candy, and I'm going to chuck that on Zapdos just to get that close to the level cap. Arbok is a insanely good Pokemon, in my opinion, but I'm not going to worry too much about capturing it. Obviously, we could have captured it to get like Ekans as a starter, which would be a starter with poison typings, but I'm not too fussed about that side of things. And once again, we are just going to go ahead and take the rare candy for Zapdos. So we are 2 floors away from our kind of goal of this video. So we do get through Beedrill, and we are just about to head into the final particular battle for this biome. I think right here, I'm going to go Max Ether on Zapdos and Drill Peck, because we have been using that quite a lot. We have a Orbeetle as the Pokemon opposing us here. Psychic is unfortunate to see, because it gets Zapdos down quite a lot in terms of its health, but we do get through floor 100, which, as I said, was our main goal for this particular video. We get another golden Pokeball, and we are into the meadow as our next phase. So I'm kind of tempted to see if we can get to a point where our what am I trying to say? Where our epic egg hatches, but I think we will leave that for the video tomorrow. So we are going to go ahead and save and quit. So we have reached our furthest point in PokeRogue so far, which is floor 100. As I said in yesterday's video, this was going to be our big kind of goal for this episode. We did fight Ivy. She did take out a couple of our Pokemon along the way, but we did get through her with kind of relative ease, I would like to say, which is quite nice to see. Regardless, we are over floor 100, and we are ready to continue our journey from floor 100 forwards. But regardless, guys, that will have to wait for tomorrow's video. So if you did enjoy this one, please be sure to leave a like rating and subscribe to the channel for more content from myself. I'll leave links in the description down below to my social media if you want to go ahead and follow those. That'd be greatly appreciative. I am also leaving links in the description down below to my other channels I have here on YouTube. There is one channel that's probably going to disappear from that for the time being, which is going to be my hobbies channel. I kind of want to focus on my gaming, my TCG, and a joint channel with my good friend Ricky for the time being. I'm still going to do my hobbies. I'm still going to do those in my spare time, but I have decided that I'm just going to stick with those as like a hobby outside of making content for the time being. We may end up making some content on them in the future, but for the time being, it's just going to be this gaming channel, the TCG channel, and the channel with Ricky. But regardless, guys, I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.